Mhm. Okay. So, hello students. Firstly, I will give you my introduction. Myself Diksha and I am your botany educator. So, as you know, RE-NEET 2026 is coming, right? So, we are here to discuss the ultimate strategy for botany for your RE-NEET 2026. You are just little bit far away from your whiteboard that you wanted from last 2 or 3 years, right? So we are here to support you. So how to score 170 in botany and how to score 340 plus in biology. Let's get start with the video. Firstly, what will be your ultimate strategy to score? As you know, sailing through the neat botany section requires shifting from simple rote learning to deep conceptual integration. Okay, so as in previous years, NTA always asked simple factual questions, but now they are asking more deep conceptual integration. So you need more deep knowledge in botany, right? So botany accounts for roughly 50% of your biology portion, that is around 45 to 50 questions and contributing up to 200 marks. Okay. So as the exam has evolved, NTA has increasingly replaced the questions, the normal questions with assertion reason and with multiple statement type questions. So how to solve that questions and easily score more in the biology. And also you need to revise every example of the botany because every example gives you at least 4 marks in every question because every example is important from NCERT. So don't skip any example. In botany, they will always ask questions from only examples. Okay. So many of the students facing issues while solving assertion reason and while solving multiple statement based questions, right? You are able to solve normal questions that are factual and conceptual, but you are not able to solve that assertion reason question. You are always confused between first and second option, right? Because in first option they will give both assertion and reason is correct and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. In second, they will give both assertion and reason is correct, but reason is not correct explanation of assertion. Now you are confused that how to recognize that reason is the correct explanation of assertion or not, right? So read the assertion first and reason as completely separate statements. Okay. After that, check their individual validity against NCERT. If both are true, insert the word because right after the assertion and read them together. Like according to your NCERT, if assertion and reason both are correct, then you have to put because after the assertion statement and before the reason. If they both are connected with because and they both are incomplete without each other, then the option A is correct. That is assertion and reason both are correct and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Okay. So we can understand assertion and reason with they are dependent on each other. Okay. But if assertion and reason are independent of each other, for example, you are reading assertion and it is complete statement, it is independent statement, you can understand assertion without reason also. And next, if you are reading the reason, then also it will be independent statement. You can easily recognize reason without assertion. They both are independent of each other. Then the second option will be correct. That means reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. Got it? Next one, if you are going in multi-statement questions, so always use the method of elimination. Always identify the statements. Firstly, you have to choose the correct statement. If they ask you the question that mark the correct statement, for example, they will give you 5 statements, right? In that, they will ask mark the correct statement. So you have to recognize first which statement is correct. Okay. And for example, if you have 5 statements and one, two, or three, these statements are correct. Okay. And fourth and fifth, these statements are wrong. So in that case, firstly you have to just recognize that first, second and third are correct. So this answer is correct and fourth and fifth is incorrect. Then after that go to options and check is there any option is available in which first, second, third statements are correct and fourth and fifth is incorrect. But if they ask in question that you need to identify the incorrect statement, then firstly you have to recognize which statement is incorrect according to NCERT. Okay. After that you go to correct statements. So if they gave you five statements that are correct and incorrect, so firstly you have to recognize incorrect statements. After that go to correct statement and match your answer with the options. Always remember they will trap you in assertion and reason and also in multiple statement questions. The questions are easy, but the options are difficult. So always read them properly. Okay, don't fell in their trap, right? After that, the mistakes to avoid while writing exam. Students do many mistakes. They will do good preparation. They have good preparation and they go to the exam. After that, in the exam, they will do many mistakes that will decrease their score. Okay. So the first mistake you have to avoid, that is spending too much time on one question. For example, if you are starting from biology, at that time sometimes if there will be that questions are coming that you don't know about the statement and you are confused between the statement, but you are spending a lot of time on that question, that will definitely decrease your score because you are losing more minutes, and NEET is a game of revision and is a game of time management. Okay, so don't spend too much time on one question. If you are confused, move to the other question. At last, if you have time, then only come to that question and see. Again, you have to recognize the question. Otherwise, don't spend too much time on that question. Okay. Second one, panic after seeing difficult questions. Sometimes you will saw that there will be difficult questions present in biology from starting. They will give you statement based, multiple statement based questions, assertion reason questions from starting. So at that time you will feel that these are too difficult questions, how to handle, and you got panicked, due to which you know everything but you messed up everything because of that panicking. So don't panic after seeing difficult questions. Okay. And filling OMR at the last minute. This is the worst mistake you are doing. Don't fill your OMR at the last minute. You have to fill the OMR with your questions. For example, you are doing questions from 91 to 100, right? So at that time, you will mark from 91 to 100 on your question paper. After that, you have to fill the OMR of that 10 questions. Only after that, you will start your another questions from 100 to 110. Okay. Don't let your OMR like lag behind, because if you are filling your OMR at the end, it will cause you problem. Sometimes the time will less and you will bubble the OMR in very hurry, in very fast way. So at that time, sometime you will mistake. For example, if there will be 91st question have A option is correct and you just mark of 91st question as B option. Okay, then there will be many problems occur because negative marking occur, right? So that's why don't let your OMR at the last minute. And excessive guessing that cause negative marking. If you are unsure about any question, you are unsure about the statement, don't excessive guess on that question. You are doing excessive guessing that maybe I will got the answer. Sometime maybe you will got the answer by excessive guessing on that. But always it will be negative marking when you are not sure about the question. Okay, so don't do any excessive guessing on one question. It will make you lose 1 marks extra. If you are leaving the question, then your 4 marks will be lost. If you are going to do the wrong question, then your 5 marks will be lost. And every marks is important, every single marks is important for your rank. Okay. And light or incomplete bubbling. Don't do any light or incomplete bubbling. because if you are doing any light bubbling and incomplete bubbling, at that time they will not consider that question to be correct and it will cause lose your marks. Okay, so avoid these mistakes while writing the paper. Next one, we have some revision protocol and high weightage topics. Okay, that you have to study. You have to focus on these high weightage topics at the last minute revision. You need of that topics only. Okay, so do not just read the lines. Read between the lines and always analyze previous year trends because NTA always asks you the question on previous year trends. Okay, so always analyze previous year trends. If there will be concepts are repeating always, so that's why you have to analyze first previous years. So in plant physiology, you can expect 10 to 12 questions from only plant physiology. As you know, we have three chapters in the plant physiology. First one is photosynthesis, next one is respiration, and third one is plant growth and regulators, right? So from these three chapters, you will expect 10 to 15 questions that will give you around 48 to 50 marks. Okay, and focus heavily on photosynthesis, that is P3, P4 and CAM pathways. These are most important topics from the photosynthesis. Okay. After that, focus on photorespiration. This is also most important topic according to PYQs. And the next topic is respiratory quotient. This is the most expected and guaranteed topic. From this topic, definitely you will expect one question. Definitely one question will come from this topic because every year have one question from this topic. Okay, and plant growth regulators that are most important. We have five plant growth regulators. You have to focus on them. And the most important plant growth regulator is auxin. So from auxin, they will ask most questions. Okay. Otherwise, all plant growth regulators are important, but most important is auxin. After that, we have genetics and molecular basis of inheritance. That is your principal and inheritance, and another one is molecular basis of inheritance. So from these two chapters, you can expect 10 to 12 questions. Genetic is very important in botany. Okay. And master Mendelian ratios. Firstly, you have to master that Mendelian ratios that we will do in monohybrid and dihybrid cross, right? So that Mendelian ratios are very important. Next one is pedigree analysis. We can easily analyze any disease by the using the method of pedigree analysis, right? So pedigree analysis is very important topic. After that, linkage and recombination. You know about the topic of linkage and recombination. This is very small topic. From this, they will ask always one numerical, that how much percentage shown in parental combinations or how much percentage shown in recombinations when there will be linkage and recombination topic is there. Okay. So recombinants and parental combination ratios they will ask in the numerical form. Okay. And chromosomal disorders. Chromosomal and Mendelian disorders is the last topic of your principle of inheritance chapter, right? So in this chromosomal disorders are most important topic and replication fork from the other chapter, that is molecular basis of inheritance. From this chapter there will be replication fork topic is most important. Nicholson and stall experiment is most important. They will ask one numerical from that topic. Okay. And transcription, the whole topic is very important. Translation and also lag operon regulation. Like I told you that respiratory quotient, you can expect one guaranteed question from this. Then also in this topic, that is lag operon regulation, you can expect one guaranteed question from this. There will be lag operon question definitely came in every exam in previous years. Okay. So these two topics are guaranteed. They have at least two guaranteed questions. Okay. So plant kingdom and morphology of flowering plants. In this there will be 6 to 8 questions are there. So life cycles, and alternation of generations. These are most important topics in the plant kingdom. Diagnostic features of major plant groups. We have five plant groups, right? Algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperm, and angiosperms. From these five topics, they have major features in that. So these are major groups of plants. We have to diagnose every feature of these groups. And most important are examples. From diversity unit, where there will be biological classification, plant kingdom and living world is there in the diversity unit. From these three chapters, you have to learn every example because examples are very important in these chapters. Floral formulas, placentation and inflorescence. These are the topics of morphology that are very important topics. And from this also there will be one topic that is placentation. In placentation you will definitely expect one guaranteed question. In every unit I am giving you one guaranteed question that you will definitely expect this year. Okay. So this is also one guaranteed question from the placentation. After that, we have morphological modifications. Morphological and anatomical modifications, we have to read that. Okay, these are also important topics. Next unit is sexual reproduction in flowering plants. In this is a single chapter. From this single chapter, you will expect 4 to 6 questions from one single chapter. Okay. So microsporogenesis versus megasporogenesis. These both are most important topics in this chapter. And embryo sac organization. Embryo sac is present in females, in female plants, right? So embryo sac organization, that is very important topic. Double fertilization. In this also, this topic is guaranteed. You can expect one question guaranteed from this topic, that is double fertilization. And endosperm development and seed formation. So these are the topics that are most important from the sexual reproduction in flowering plants. After that, cell structure and function and also cell cycle. There will be in cytology, you can expect questions from cell organelles, the details of cell organelles. And most important cell organelle is endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, so from this you can expect most questions. And cell cycle checkpoints. You know about the checkpoints that is present in G1S and G2 phase, right? So in these checkpoints, you can expect one question. Mitosis versus meiosis, that is present in cell cycle. So mitosis as well as meiosis, both topics are most important. And chromosomal behavior during division. There will be type of chromosome. As you know, the last topic is metacentric, acrocentric, submetacentric and telocentric. These are type of chromosome, right? So from this topic, you will guaranteedly expect one question. Okay. So that type of chromosome definitely give you one guaranteed question in this year. After that, ecology and environment. In ecology, we have three chapters, right? From these three chapters, you can expect 6 to 8 questions. And population interaction is our first topic. You have to remember every example of population interaction. They will only ask questions from examples of population interaction. Okay. And after that, ecological succession. Ecological succession, you have to remember that topic, very important topic. And ecological pyramids. Okay, so there will be energy graph in the ecological pyramids, right? So you can expect one guaranteed question from that energy graph that is present in ecological pyramid. And also you can expect one question from this population interaction example. These topics are most important topics in the ecology. Okay. So now we are starting with the questions. So our first question is from plant physiology. First question is, a plant absorbs 500 ml of water in a day. If a plant absorbs 500 ml of water in a day and 90% is absorbed by roots, the water 90% is absorbed by roots, that means That means 90 by 100 into 500, right? And 80% of the absorbed water is lost. That means how much water is there? There will be 450 ml of water. So that absorbed water is 450 ml. So from this 450, there will be 80% of water is lost to transpiration. Okay. So 80 by 100 into 450. That will give you around, that will give you around 360 ml. That means they are asking calculate the amount of water that is transcribed. Okay. So this water that will be transcribed, that is 360 ml. Okay. So that water that the plant lost in the transpiration, that is 360 ml of water. After that, our second question is also from plant physiology. So in second question, there will be an assertion. The assertion is C4 plants do not show photorespiration. Okay, they are saying C4 plants do not show respiration. So according to NCERT, assertion is correct because C4 plants never do photorespiration. There will be two cells we have in C4 plants. One is mesophyll cells and one is bundle sheath cells, right? So in mesophyll cells, the primary acceptor is PEP, and after that there will be bundle sheath cells in which rubisco is present, and rubisco is responsible for doing that photorespiration. PEP is not able to do photorespiration. That's why firstly there will be primary acceptor is PEP. After that rubisco will come, that is present in bundle sheath cells. Okay, so that's why in C4 plants there will be no photorespiration because rubisco is absent from mesophyll cells and CO2 concentration around rubisco remain high in bundle sheath cells. So the concentration of CO2 increase in bundle sheath cells. Due to increase in the concentration of CO2, there will be suppression of oxygenase enzyme that will cause photorespiration. Okay, that is our rubisco enzyme. So there will be no photorespiration due to high amount of CO2 concentration. Now you can check, there will be assertion is there, but we don't understand assertion without reason. We have to put because between assertion and reason. Now this statement is complete, right? That's why the option A is correct. Both assertion and reason are true, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Okay. The next question is assertion is cyclic phosphorylation produce ATP but not NADPH. Okay. In cyclic photophosphorylation, they are asking ATP is present but NADPH is not present. So this statement is correct according to NCERT. So only photosystem 1, but this statement is incomplete, right? We don't understand the reason. So we have to put because, but not NADPH. Why not NADPH is present? So because only photosystem 1 participate in cyclic photophosphorylation. That's why there will be cyclic photophosphorylation is not happen. They will only produce ATP but not NADPH because NADPH only form in the photosystem second. But in photosystem 1 there will be only formation of ATP. So that's why in this also both assertion and reason are correct, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. The fourth question is from genetics. Okay, so the statement 1, that is law of segregation, states that alleles separate during gamete formation. As you know, we have two laws, law of segregation, law of independent assortment, right? So in law of segregation, they state that alleles will separate in the gene during gamete formation. If capital A and small a is the gene, so capital A and small a, they both are alleles in this pair of alleles. The pair of alleles we called it as genes, right? And we called it separate as alleles. So capital A and small a are alleles and they will always separate during gamete formation. So statement 1 is correct and a gamete receives only one allele of a gene pair. So we need to put because we don't know why they separate during gamete formation. So a gamete receives only one allele of a gene pair. That's why they have to separate during gamete formation. So both statements are correct and statement second correctly explains statement 1. If you are solving the questions like that, if you are putting because in between the statement first and statement second, you will never get any question wrong in assertion and reason and in statement based questions. Okay. So the option A is correct. Both statements are true and statement second correctly explains statement first. After that, Mendel's law of independent assortment is applicable only to genes present on different chromosomes. Okay, as you know what happened in independent assortment, that Mendel's, they have that law of independent assortment. In this, the pair of genes separate from each other. Okay, they are independently separate from each other. In law of segregation, we have only one pair of genes in which there will be separation of alleles, right? But in the law of independent assortment, there is a separation of pair of genes from each other. So that's why if they are present on different chromosomes, then only they will separate, right? So this statement is correct. And genes located on the same chromosome are always inherited together. This statement is wrong. Why it is wrong? Because this always word is wrong. Genes located on the same chromosome are not always inherited together. Sometimes they will not inherit it together. Okay, that's why the word always is not correct. So assertion A is true, but reason is false. Clear? After that, there will be multiple statement selector questions are there. So consider the following statement. The first statement is DNA fingerprinting is based on VNTR, right? That is variable number of tandem repeats. Okay. So VNTR, DNA fingerprinting always based on VNTR. As you know, variable number of tandem repeats are there. That's why DNA fingerprinting always responsible, always based on VNTRs. After that, VNTRs show high polymorphism. Okay, polymorphism means they show variations in different individuals. And VNTRs always show high polymorphism because they work on the mechanism of polymorphism only, right? So this statement is also correct. Third one, Alec Jeffreys developed DNA fingerprinting. The scientist Alec Jeffreys, he developed DNA fingerprinting. That is also correct according to NCERT. So three statements are correct. Fourth one, DNA fingerprinting can distinguish identical twins. This is wrong. In identical twins, there will be same VNTR is present, same polymorphism is present, and every sequence of DNA is same in them. That's why they show as the same features, as the same phenotypical features and genotypical features, right? That's why they are identical twins. So DNA fingerprinting never distinguish between identical twins. So first, second, and third statement is correct. Like that, you will solve the question. Firstly, they have to tell, like, mark the correct statement, right? So that's why, firstly, you have to, at least, you have to check which statement is correct and which is not. After that, you have to mark the correct statements only and you have to leave the wrong statements, right? Next one is Down syndrome is caused by trisomy 21. Okay, so on the chromosome of 21, there will be one extra chromosome is present, that is trisomy of 21st chromosome. For example, 21st chromosome is XX. So if there will be one extra Y chromosome is present on the 21st chromosome, so we call it as trisomy of 21st chromosome, and that causes Down syndrome. After that, Turner syndrome is monosomy of X chromosome. Okay, in humans there will be 46 chromosomes, right? So in this 46 chromosome, in females there will be XX chromosome is present. But if we remove this one X and we are putting there X0, that means there will be one X chromosome is missing, that is monosomy of X chromosome. So one X chromosome is missing, that cause Turner syndrome, and this will cause male-like features in females. Okay, and another one is Klinefelter syndrome has XXY chromosome. That means one extra X chromosome come in males. Okay, this already present in males, XY chromosome already present in males, but one extra chromosome come in them, okay, in the Klinefelter syndrome. So this is also a disease in which gynecomastia will be easily visible, okay. And all chromosomal disorders are inherited from parents. This is wrong. These chromosomal disorders not inherited from parents. These chromosomal disorders occur due to non-disjunction. During anaphase first, there will be non-disjunction of chromosomes. Okay, so these chromosomal disorder just because this non-disjunction. Now, what is non-disjunction? As you know, in anaphase first, there will be disjunction of chromosome. Two chromosomes are present in one pair. One chromosome will move to first pole, and next chromosome of this pair will move to another pole. Okay, but if they fail in this disjunction, that is non-disjunction, and one pair will move to one pole and another pair will not move to any pole. Okay, so that's why there will be 24 chromosome on first pole and 22 chromosome on second pole, due to which there will be one less chromosome formed in one daughter cell and one more chromosome formed in one daughter cell. That's why this chromosomal disorders not inherited from parents, they came from non-disjunction of chromosome during anaphase first. Okay. After that, assertion is during transcription only one strand of DNA is transcribed, right? Because we don't need double-stranded RNA. So, as you know, in transcription, there is a formation of RNA from DNA. Okay, so we don't need double-stranded RNA. That's why there will be only one strand will be transcribed from DNA, because simultaneous transcription of both strands would produce RNAs complementary to each other. That means double-stranded RNA, and double-stranded RNA are not stable, and also during the process of translation when there will be formation of proteins from RNA, so this process is also complex. There is a formation of proteins from RNA during translation. So this process also very complex because of that double-stranded RNA. Okay, so that's why both assertion and reason are true, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Okay, and the next one is in ABO blood grouping there will be IA and IB are codominant. Okay, in ABO blood grouping, if IA and IB genes are codominant on each other, so because individuals with both with blood group AB express both A and B antigens. Okay, so this statement is incomplete. Why they are codominant on each other? Because in the persons who have AB blood grouping, in that there will be A and B, both antigens are present, but no antibody is present. That's why AB blood group, the persons who have AB blood group, they can receive blood from anyone. They are universal recipient, but they can't donate blood to anyone. They only donate blood to AB blood groups, right? Because they don't have any antibody. So both statements are true and second statement supports first. Next one is assertion, that is DNA replication occurs during the S phase of interphase. Okay, in interphase, we have three phases: G1 phase, S phase, and G2 phase, right? So in S phase, there will be DNA replication occur. That is the correct information. And chromosome number doubles during S phase. They are saying, is chromosome number also double during S phase? For example, in G1 phase, if chromosome number is 2n, and if the amount of DNA is 2c. So in S phase, the chromosome number is same, that is 2n, but the amount changes from 2c to 4c. That means DNA content will be doubled, but the number of chromosome is the same. So while going to G2 phase, the number of chromosome is same and the content will be doubled. Okay. So assertion is correct and reason is false. So option C, assertion is true and reason is false. Next we have multiple statement selector. So in this there are four statements we have. We have to recognize which one is the correct statement. First one is ribosomes are the site of protein synthesis. Okay, so ribosome always a site of protein synthesis. That is correct. Lysosomes contain hydrolytic enzymes. You know what is hydrolytic enzymes? The enzyme that use water for breaking any complex compounds. Okay, lytic means breakage and hydro means water. So they use water for lysis of any complex product into simpler ones. That's why lysosome contain hydrolytic enzymes in them. They will break the complex products. That means they will break the carbohydrates into simple sugars. They will break the nucleic acid into nucleotides. Okay, they will break the proteins into amino acids. That's why they have hydrolytic enzymes in them. After that, centrosomes are present in higher plant cells. What are centrosomes? We have centrioles, right? So if these centrioles are present perpendicular to each other, so this whole structure we call it as centrosome, that is present in between two sister chromatids during cell division. So this pink one, this is the centrosome. Okay, so these are present in between the sister chromatids. So centrosomes are present in higher plant cells. No, centrosomes are only present in animal cells. And Golgi apparatus is involved in packaging and secretion. Yes, Golgi apparatus is involved in packaging and secretion. So first, second, and fourth statement is correct, but third statement is wrong. A cell has 10 chromosomes at G1 phase. After completion of S phase, it will contain. So a cell have 10 chromosomes at G1 phase. Now after completion of S phase, it will contain 10 chromosomes and 10 DNA molecules, 10 chromosome and 20 DNA molecules, 20 chromosome and 20 DNA molecules, or 20 chromosome and 10 DNA molecules. So the chromosome number is always same. That means these statements are incorrect. You can use elimination method. Okay, so these statements are incorrect. 10 chromosome are there, but in S phase, the DNA content will be double. So that B option is correct. 10 chromosome and 20 DNA molecules. So the assertion is mitochondria and chloroplast are semi-autonomous organelles. Okay, and the reason is they possess circular DNA and 70 S chromosomes. Now the assertion is why they are semi-autonomous organelles. We don't understand the statement with only assertion, right? Because they possess circular DNA and 70 S chromosome. Now what is semi-autonomous? Semi-autonomous means they are able to form their own proteins. They don't depend on the nucleus. They are able to make their own proteins. So these are semi-autonomous, right? So why we call them semi-autonomous? We can also call them as fully autonomous, but we are only call them as semi-autonomous because they will form some proteins. For example, if your body needs 20 proteins, so they will form only 12 proteins. For that 8 proteins, they have to depend on their nutrition or they have to depend on the nucleus. Okay, that's why we call them as semi-autonomous because they have their DNA and they have their ribosome. That's why they can make their own proteins because from DNA there is a formation of RNA, from RNA there is a formation of protein. But protein synthesis need one platform, that is ribosomes. Okay, that's why both are true and reason explains assertion. Okay. Next one is multiple statement selector. So in this also we have to select the correct statement. Fluid mosaic model was proposed by Singer and Nicholson. Okay. So these two scientists gave this model, that is fluid mosaic model, about cell membrane, right? So they gave the model in which they say that the cell membrane is made up of quasi-fluid. They have quasi-fluid nature, right? So this is the fluid mosaic model. And cholesterol is an important constituent of animal cell membrane. So this is also correct. Cholesterol is only present in animal cell membrane. It is not present in plant cell membrane. So this is also correct. Integral proteins penetrate the lipid bilayer. Yes, integral proteins always penetrate the lipid bilayer. If this is a lipid bilayer, so these are the integral proteins. This is a lipid bilayer in which these are the integral proteins that penetrate inside the lipid bilayer. But there will be some peripheral proteins are also present that are present on only surface. So the fourth is all membrane proteins are peripheral proteins. That is wrong. Not all membrane proteins are peripheral proteins. Membrane proteins are peripheral as well as integral. Okay, that's why first, second, and third, these statements are correct, other ones are wrong. Okay, next we have that gross primary productivity. So, what is the gross primary productivity? So, the GPP stands for gross primary productivity. So, the plant make the food by the photosynthesis. So what food they make, that is their gross primary productivity. And what is the net primary productivity? GPP minus respiration losses. Definitely the food that they will make energy, they will gain energy from that food. And also they will use that energy in the respiration or in any other process, right? So that's why when there will be minus negative, there will be no respiration losses. So at that time the GPP is gross primary productivity. But if there will be decreasing of respiration losses from GPP, we got net primary productivity after the spending of respiration losses. And about 10% of energy is transferred to the next trophic level. If there will be ecological pyramid, in that there is a transfer of only 10% of energy to the next trophic level. Okay, 90% of energy is used or lost. Only 10% of energy will be transferred to the next trophic level. This is also correct. Energy flow in an ecosystem is cyclic. This is not correct. Energy flow in an ecosystem is always unidirectional. Whether your ecological pyramid is upright or whether it is inverted, it is always unidirectional. It is not cyclic. Okay. So the first, second and third only is correct. Fourth one is wrong. So the assertion is the standing crop of a trophic level can be expressed as biomass or number. And because standing crop is measured as the amount of living material present in a particular time, right? If there will be a particular living material is present at a particular time in an organism, so we call them as standing crop. So assertion and reason are true and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Next one is multiple statements vector. That is, first statement is brood parasitism is an example of parasitism. Okay, now what is brood parasitism? There will be parasitism that happen in the bird, that is cuckoo. In this there will be brood parasitism happen, right? Cuckoo lay her eggs in the nest of crow, right? So this is a brood parasitism. That means it is an example of parasitism. So this statement is correct. Next one is Cuscata is a total stem parasite. Cuscata is a type of plant. This plant never do photosynthesis. Okay. So this plant always depend on other plants for their nutrition. That's why we are saying it is a total stem parasite. And mutualism always involves obligatory dependence of both partners. This statement is wrong. It is not obligatory dependence. Sometimes it will be facultative dependence also. Okay. So this obligatory word is wrong. And mycorrhiza represent a mutualistic association. Yes, mycorrhiza is a mutualistic association between fungi and the roots of higher plants. Okay. That's why first, second and fourth, these three statements are correct and the third statement is wrong. And the assertion is species richness decrease with increasing latitude. When there will be increasing latitude, species richness always decrease because tropical regions have remained relatively undisturbed for millions of years compared to temperate regions. Okay, so if the latitudes are increasing, so at that time species richness decreases. So assertion and reason are true and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Species area relationship is represented by a rectangular hyperbola, right? That are given in your NCERT. That always species area relationship shows rectangular hyperbola. And species richness increase indefinitely with increasing area. So this is wrong because species richness not increasing indefinitely, it increasing definitely with increasing area. Okay, that's why assertion is true but reason is false. Okay, so the next one is consider the following statements which are correct or not. The first is Rivett-Popper hypothesis was proposed by Paul Ehrlich. Yeah, right. The Paul Ehrlich is the scientist who gave the Rivett-Popper hypothesis. That is the example of your aeroplane that is present in your NCERT, right? So he will tell when there will be one aeroplane is there, if we are just extracting one seed from that aeroplane. So there will be no, you are not noticing any difference in starting, but at the ending, when there will be the process is going on, you will see the difference in the aeroplane. And also, if you are extracting any wing of the aeroplane not ever going to the work, right? So that's why in they will just compare the aeroplane with the ecosystem. So in ecosystem also, if we are using more natural products, that's why they are going to diminish. So private proper hypothesis given by Paul Ehrlich. So the ecosystem will be disturbed by this, and stable communities show less year-to-year variation in productivity. Yes, they will show less year-to-year variation. That's why they are stable communities, right? So more diverse communities are generally more stable, and extinction rates today are estimated to be 100,000 times higher than natural rates. So this is also right. More diverse communities, more large communities are generally more stable, and extinction rates today are estimated 100 to 1000 times higher than natural. So that's why there will be four statements are correct. First, second, third, fourth. Okay, all four statements are correct. The 21st question is, the pyramid of biomass in a sea ecosystem is inverted. Okay, so now which pyramid in sea that is inverted? The standing crop biomass of phytoplankton is less than that of zooplankton at any given time. So the standing crop biomass of phytoplankton is less as compared to zooplankton. That's why it is a inverted ecosystem. It is like that. Okay, it is not upright, it is inverted. So both assertion and reason are true, but in this, reason is not correct explanation of assertion, because these two statements are independent of each other. We can easily understand the two statements. Okay, diatoms are called chief producers of oceans. That is given in your biological classification, that diatoms are chief producers of oceans, and diatoms are a type of protista. Okay, their silicaceous cell walls form diatomaceous earth after death. Then when there will be a death of diatoms, at that time there will be formation of silicaceous cell wall. They have silicaceous cell wall that's never to be degraded. Okay, so there is a formation of diatomaceous earth. That means silicaceous cell wall deposit at one place because they are non-degradable. So that's why they form one mass, that is gritty mass, that is diatomaceous earth. So both assertion and reason are true, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Okay. Members of kingdom fungi are placed in a separate kingdom from plants because fungi are heterotrophic organisms with chitinous cell walls. Okay, but plants have cellulosic cell walls. Now, in this assertion, the question arising in our mind, why we need to put fungi in different kingdoms as compared to the plant kingdom, right? So, fungi are heterotrophic organisms with chitinous cell walls, and both assertion and reason are true, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Now in this, the first statement is mycoplasma is the smallest living cell known. Okay, as you know, mycoplasma present in kingdom Monera. So mycoplasma is the smallest living cell known, and mycoplasma lacks a cell wall. Mycoplasma can also survive without oxygen, but mycoplasma is not eukaryote. It is prokaryote. It is a bacterial species, right? So first, second, third, three statements are correct and one is wrong. Next one is select the correct statements. So, diatoms are major contributors to global oxygen production. That means diatoms are major contributors to global oxygen production. This is right because they can do photosynthesis, right? That's why they are major contributors to global oxygen production. Diatomaceous earth is formed from the accumulated cell walls of the diatoms that are made up of silica. So this is also correct. Red tides are caused by rapid multiplication of certain dinoflagellates. Okay, so this is also correct. There will be red dinoflagellates that cause red tides because dinoflagellates can multiply very faster. When they multiply in the sea, so there will be every particle of the water present in the sea turns to be red. So this calls red tides. Okay, and all dinoflagellates are photosynthetic? No, this is wrong. All dinoflagellates are not photosynthetic. Some are heterotrophic also. That's why we called it as mixotrophic. We didn't call it as phototrophic. Okay. So first, second, third, that is correct. But fourth one is not correct. So that is it with the questions. Now at the end, I want to say you that dreams don't work unless you do. Okay. And every page you study today brings your whiteboard a step closer. Okay. That's why keep going. Your future self will definitely thank you. You already did everything. You already did with your revision. You already did everything. Only 3 or 4 days will be left, so always focus on your mistakes that you have done in your 1 or 2 year journey. So always revise that mistake. Always focus on the PYQs. Always focus on the repeated concepts. And that's it. And final is, don't panic. Don't be demotivated. You are the best. And this paper is definitely made for you only. So don't expect anything that it is tough, it is easy. Don't expect, just don't be demotivated. Always feel motivated. You are the best. Always feel like we are the best. That's why we can do it. Okay. So all the best and thank you so much.